Well. What day is this? Is this still Thursday? Anybody? Do you have any idea what day it is? Does anybody have any idea what day it is? I keep
It's
asking
the
here.
day after Tuesday. I
Uh
mean
huh.
Monday. I don't
Yeah.
know.
In other words, y'all are clueless.
It's pre-hump day.
Welcome to the 24th day of the ninth month.
Okay.
Also known as 3 months until Christmas Eve, 90 shopping days until Christmas.
Would you stop it
Good
with that?
morning, I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly now.
I'm Lee Barrels.
And in this corner,
I'm trying to even out the test in this
Mhm.
building. I'm the donkey man. You got to watch him.
who?
All this, if you don't balance out the testosterone, you can be in trouble.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, just doing my main deed. You just have to even things out.
No, okay. Well, I'm going to bed for a while.
Well, you're gonna put me in danger.
That's all right. Well, whatever. I stay there every day of
I
the
think
week.
everybody overslept this morning except for Kelly. She was actually on time.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, hi y'all. Everything good?
Everything's good.
Kelly took a 400-mile trip yesterday, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, Kelly worked till about midnight last night.
Yeah,
So
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
So much going on out there. I'm looking at your exes this morning.
I know I checked him out as soon as I walked
And
in.
one of them is both of them are reasons for a little concern. The most immediate threat is this thing down
The
there.
Red
in
X.
Yeah.
Causing
the
havoc.
Red
I
X.
saw it as I was leaving the house.
In
this
the
morning.
Gulf.
Yep, they're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about it.
down in, it's headed for the Gulf of Mexico. It's in the Caribbean, western part of the Caribbean. It's right now
Correct.
still a spot.
Yes.
And today, later today, early this evening at the latest, it will become a tropical storm.
Yeah.
It's got about 35 mile per hour sustained winds now, and it's beginning to churn. And when it starts spinning, well, that's when we need to worry, because then it will develop a direction of travel, and the initial direction of travel is going to be into the northwest, and then it's going to turn towards the north in a couple of days, and then it's going to become a hurricane.
Yes.
And then it's going to be to the northeast just a
Yes.
little bit. Then it's going to come up towards that infamous little spot there called the Panhandle.
Right. It wobbled a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to.
But-
But anyway, we actually should be okay if the given projected path is what it turns out to be. It'll come ashore as a hurricane in the Panhandle of Florida, and then move its way up across into Georgia, and then hang a hard left, going back towards the northwest, and all as a tropical system.
Just some rain
depression.
for the mountains of North Carolina this
Where are you
weekend.
going?
To the mountains of North Carolina this weekend.
So they're renaming the storm.
I mean, what is up
Hurricane
with
Lee.
that?
Mhm.
No, we've already been through that.
Yeah, the way the path looks like, hot Atlanta might cool off.
Yeah.
I need to work out. I need to check out my 4-wheel drive.
Well, this will be your time.
Well,
Yep.
you might want to check your rearview mirror when you see it. You need to get
Yeah.
people going
Put your
fast.
traction control on.
And I'm like, why? Anyway, if it's up there with me, y'all be safe and dry. So we're good.
Well, bring us back some water. We need some. Yeah, right.
The last rainstorm we had, I mean, Carolina Beach caught the devil.
They did.
Winnebago.
Yes, I did.
In fact, northbound 17 down there is still down.
Yeah, and, Lake 17. You mean?
Lake 17.
Lake 17.
And they were arguing about it. And I said, well, you can call Dino Nobel. I said, they're right on 53. If you've got the money, they can fix it. And they all look, what do you mean? I said, they'll blow them dams right out of the water.
There you go.
I said, and that's your problem. They said, no, it's all these people moving in. No, not really. It's
Not unless they could bring the hurricane with
right.
them.
I said, it's
Tropical
the
storm.
beaver dams. I said, they're not getting rid of the beaver dams anymore.
That we need those
Oh,
little
Tim.
trappers from way back. We need to go back to wearing beaver hats. You
Yeah.
know, that's what they used to do, and
Oh,
that's what didn't have a problem with them.
Well, there's USDA supposed to have somebody hired to
Yes,
keep
they're
it in control,
supposed to.
but they don't have enough people.
Well, if y'all are living along one of those creeks,
Yeah.
you need to go back in there and you see that thing out there, just go ahead and put a stick of dynamite in it, or
Creeks.
hook up
Yeah.
some hooks and just take your boat and pull them on downriver.
Well, we found out years ago when they got up in Chapel Creek and stuff like that, started making dams. And we go in there and tear them out.
Mm-hmm.
And after about the third time you tearing out,
They
they'll
move out
on.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it takes a while because they
It takes
will
time.
rebuild.
Oh yeah, they do.
They're right there where they are. They like that spot, so they picked it. So that's
Thank
the
you,
way it's
Ducks
gonna be.
Unlimited. We appreciate your business.
Ducks Unlimited.
They one that wanted to get them in here.
Sure.
They did.
Yeah.
It's like your coyote problem.
Oh,
That was brought in.
imports,
Yep.
illegal immigrants,
Illegal immigrants. That's a good way to put it.
more ways than one.
It just made the donkey business go better.
What's going on in your world, Timmy? We didn't introduce you
Just-
other than Donkey Man.
That's fine. I feel like family now. It's
You
been
are.
been here so many times.
You are family.
Not a whole lot. Moving equipment. Fort Fisher. I don't know if
What day is that happening?
supposed to be the 26th, but I don't think that'll
That's
happen.
like Thursday.
Yeah. And
They're planning an event. I'm planning to
Well,
go.
they're starting to film. They're going to start filming the 26th. They're going to stop traffic. We have to. There's a 70-ton crane we got to get out of there.
Oh,
Probably
you better
tomorrow.
hurry them
Yeah.
because we're supposed to go there for an event.
Yeah.
They're going to have a. Yeah,
I just
told
don't.
my friend who
I
was.
don't see it, but
he was-
okay.
he was big time involved in putting that together. He's
Yeah.
in a nursing home there in Wilmington now, but he's planning to go, and I'm planning to be there.
Well, it's going to be wonderful. I mean, I've
So I'll
seen
be
the
leaving
development
early.
of it.
I'll leave at 8:00 that morning, ladies.
What day is
That's
this?
Thursday.
Thursday.
This week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just making sure.
you won't be here on Friday.
No, I won't.
You're not. Are you leaving Thursday?
Thursday, yes, but after about noontime.
Okay. Well, you can leave early if you want to.
I'll leave at 9 o'clock. Is that early enough? Is that it? Can we cover for me? If I leave at 9?
At 9:00? Yeah,
Yes.
we'll shut the show down just for you.
Kelly's like, I wish you both would stop. Hey, big news. Through September 22nd, we've had 102 people in North Carolina vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absentee ballots.
Yeah.
102.
Good. Well, I bet a couple of them probably wish they had not voted by now already with things that are changing
Well,
in the gubernatorial area.
Yeah.
I've made up my mind on that, and I know exactly what I'm doing. So,
Yeah. But a month ago, you wouldn't.
Absolutely right.
You already made up your mind a month
Month
ago, and
ago.
now you've changed it.
I've changed it.
That's why I
I've
don't like
changed my
that
mind.
really early voting. Early voting to me is the day before.
A lot of people ask me, is it too late for Mark Robinson to pull out? I mean,
Boy, you can pull out all you want.
and withdraw from the race.
Yeah.
You can do that
Technically.
too, but it's not going to happen.
But it would have been the evening of the day that all the bombshells started hitting. So that's
Yeah.
political strategy. It's the way it works in the
Of course it
political
is.
world.
They would like to totally, completely destroy him.
I have seen
They're
it here in
working on it.
Onslow County back in the years where you had an opponent that might have stood a very good chance of getting your seat. And like 2 days before the election, flyers come out in the mail,
Yeah.
Mhm.
damning flyers.
Aw,
That's the way it goes. That's the way
used
it
to drop
works.
them from airplanes. but they
They
don't do
drop
that
them from
anymore.
airplanes, yeah.
They put articles in the newspaper a week before the election. You know, they would pay for that article and damaging, trying to damage the
Yep,
opponent.
yep, that's standard
Yeah, it's
procedure.
just standard.
But
procedure.
this time, there's got some teeth involved.
Yep.
And it's got a little bit of a lot of ammo there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can overcome it.
He's got to get a new staff in there.
Even before this, he stood a decreasing opportunity to become the next governor, and now it's one and done. And
Yeah.
my personal opinion, of course, everything I say on here is my.
Fact check that.
That's it.
One either. So
I
know.
and I talked to another gentleman yesterday afternoon. He's planning to write in that other person that you talked about.
I've
Yeah.
heard it from a lot of people. I'm telling you, there's
He's
big
not
talk.
going to win.
No, he's not going to win, but I think people are making a statement.
That's the statement.
I will say this, that I am very disappointed in the North
Republican
Carolina
Party.
Republican Party.
So am I. They should have.
Very disappointed.
And the other gentleman I talked to yesterday, he's in the Republican Party. And I said, you know what? Why don't they just run if you got somebody, especially those on the higher up, why don't they do a background check like you and I used to do on people for a job?
Mhm.
And then he says, yeah, well, why not? I said, yeah, you can run all the names by me of the grand finalists
Well, I will say,
before they become the grand finalists. And then let's just do a background check. If you can find somebody in the opposing party that can find information about somebody, why don't you find it first yourself?
because it's,
Hey, man, I'm available.
It's easier to wait.
Yeah. So hey, this is what I'm going to go ahead and let you know now. I did this, and I'll give you me as an example. If I mess up at work,
Uh-huh.
and I do, I'm human. I grab the phone first thing I do. I call my boss man. Hey, look, I did this, and I did it, and this and that done. This is what I done. This, it'll be all right. Well, 5 minutes to an hour, he's getting phone calls. You won't believe what he done.
Yeah,
You
well, I
already
heard
know
about
about it. So if you tell on yourself,
Mhm.
nobody's got any ammunition to tell on you.
One of the smartest department heads that I ever dealt with was the director of social services in Wilmington, New Hanover County. And on a Friday, document dump day, right?
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, about 2:00, he called the media. He said, we've had to fire one of our staffers, and here's why. What?
Yep.
Well, it made news for Friday. It was dead by Saturday.
Right.
Now, if the media had discovered it
Yep.
on Friday themselves, it would have been news. Look, breaking news. This is what we found. We have found that, yada, yada. And then it would have been news all weekend long and still news on Monday morning. But this was, it was, okay. He gave us all the information, every bit of it up front. And then he went home, went to bed, slept through the weekend. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and it was over. Yeah, you're going to get it. The information is going to come out. So why not let it come out first?
I
You're
agree.
absolutely right. Tell on yourself.
Yeah, I had a guy follow me on I-95 when I was bringing back to they're called ballast cars, and there was a little bit of rock in one,
Mhm.
and he took pictures and claimed that rock was falling off out of the ballast car and hitting his truck, and he had pictures of the truck, and he went right up to the back of the trailer and got the license tag, and he called the company, and when I got to 74, they called me, and I pulled over. No rock. The rock was lower than the door. And I said, the door's closed. And they said, you sure? So I took a picture. I said, and sent it to them. Door's closed. I said, it's locked. I said, I don't think I could lock it running 80 mile an hour down the highway on I-95. And so it drug out, and they got lawyers, and come to find out he had hit rock, but it wasn't me. But he wanted to find somebody to blame it on.
Of course.
And so he tried to blame me. Anyway,
Well,
he didn't get anything.
That was being easy payout.
Yeah.
That's what he figured.
And I made sure, and I told him, I said, I made sure the doors were locked before I left. And so, yeah, I took a picture of the door. The pin was in the door, couldn't come out. Okay. Oh, yeah, he was all over it.
So then if I'd done the law, I would have got my investigator involved. I would have said, how many times has this happened with this guy? And go ahead and pull his record.
Yeah.
First thing you do, pull the opposition record and see what's cooking out
You have
there.
a whole
So-
lot of, I'm easy. I mean, I'm not just saying me, but a lot of truck drivers are easy prey on that.
They are.
Especially when you haul aggregate, any kind of rock or material, you are easy prey. And a lot of them have signs on the back of their truck.
Stay back
Stay away.
500 feet.
Exactly. And we have them too.
But that doesn't matter. That's not a legal thing. That's a
No.
suggestion.
Please don't. Yeah.
But to me, that's also saying like, okay, he's got something back there he shouldn't have back
Yeah.
there, and he hasn't done his job.
Yeah.
But I saw one of those trucks yesterday that mostly empty, but it had the tarp pulled up.
Yeah,
It's
the
one of
tarp.
those automatic things that you can hit a button and it comes back by itself, I guess.
Yep. I got one.
So he had one on this truck and it was covered up. And I said, well, it's not even full, but cool.
Well,
That's the way
the
it's supposed to be done.
the DMV says if they see it, if they can see it
Mhm.
riding down the road, it needs to be talked.
Yeah. Well,
And all you got to do is hit the button, close it down.
why would you not want to do that?
You've got people that don't
Lazy.
want to do it. Yeah.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, say you had a personal trailer that you were hauling behind your vehicle and it was full of tree limbs and it was piled up real high.
Same thing.
Aren't you not supposed to cover that
You're
also?
supposed to. You're supposed to
Yep.
tie it down, cover it, and a lot they make these nets,
Yes, I have
and the
one.
mesh is that big, and you
Right.
can just cover it. You're fine. You're still gonna be liable if something falls off the truck, but at least you're fine. You
Right.
try. You may. It's called making the effort, and you made the effort.
It's I don't like getting behind somebody that's hauling a bunch of debris
Well, you can go
and
down
it's not secure.
421 to head to the
No.
landfill over there, and you see pieces of plywood, OSB
Oh,
board. You
great.
see boards all up and down 421.
Quit. That's the
What
way I'm going.
What gets me is somebody who's going to be buying himself a new mattress, and instead of paying the fee to have it delivered or getting somebody with a truck,
They have it on the hood
and
of
they
it.
put it on the hood of the cart, and they fasten it across one spot.
Oh, they're holding it.
And
It's their
yeah,
job.
there have been those. I've seen those.
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
And you see mattresses alongside the road, you know what happened. Went airborne, and it's no
Yeah.
good anymore. So it's
Mhm.
broken in pieces. So
That's
they
one
just
you
left
didn't
it
get.
there.
I'll grab the box springs if I see them. If they got the teardrop looking box spring, if I see it on the side road, I pick it up because my wife makes crafts out of those
Oh,
springs.
okay. I was going to
Yes.
say,
She
what?
makes she
what
makes
for?
those spring people, and I get them.
Mhm.
I've done that before, taking the springs off and then use the wood.
Yeah.
In crafts and stuff, and then take the rest of the bag and put it in the bag and
Well,
put
it's
it in the
pretty
garbage.
wood.
Yes.
It's utility lumber,
Right,
but it's
right.
pretty.
All right. But now you can get mattresses in a box.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
little box that comes through the mail or UPS.
Yeah.
You open the box and it explodes into a big mattress.
Yeah, don't give
How
it.
did they
to-
get that thing in there?
And they suck the air right
Yeah.
out of it. I don't know how they do it, but boy, I tell you, once you open that bag that's containing that mattress,
Try to put it back.
it grows.
If you're on my
Oh.
mail route, don't order it through USPS.
Yeah.
You won't get it. You have to go pick it up.
You have to go pick it up. Did you ever get? Oh yeah, that's right. You took care of that.
Took care of it. No, it started again.
What started again?
He's not getting packages delivered to his door. They're leaving
right.
him notices. Laziness, pure laziness.
Never had this problem until we got a new mail carrier.
Mm.
And claimed she couldn't find the driveway. Then she claimed she couldn't find a secure spot to put it. Then she's claimed about 4 or 5 different things. And so I called somebody and I said, what's the rule on that? They don't have to go any further than a half mile off the highway
Uh-huh.
and a half mile back. Well, I measured mine is just about a quarter mile long from the ditch to the porch, my driveway.
How'd you measure it?
I got a wheel measure.
Hmm.
It's 1,670
Serious.
feet.
Get yourself a
Serious.
real GPS.
Oh yeah, I
That's the
got
best
that
thing
too.
to do. Plot this location and this location, and show them using satellite technology
Well,
the exact distance, and that just confuses
Well,
them.
I let Saint Diane do it because she's a whole lot more cordial than I am. 'Cause she
What do you
don't-
mean by that?
Well,
I mean, you teach your donkeys. Is that what you're
I
talking
take-
about?
yeah,
How to be
but
obstinate?
ladies, unless you get real mad, they're real. A lady can. I'll tell you this is where I've always said it. A woman can move a mountain with a single breath. A man is going to take a truckload of dynamite because if she wants it done bad enough, it'll get
Uh-huh.
done.
I
Just
sometimes prefer dynamite, but
yeah,
that's just
well,
beside me.
that's the man side. He gets the dynamite and moves it. But if a woman wants something moved, it's going to be moved.
Yeah. Kelly does it with her looks.
Yeah, yeah.
She just looks.
Diane just
she
looked
gives
at
you
me.
one of those.
Yeah.
Looks like
I
that
get
one right
that.
there. Well, I got a joke for her this morning too,
Oh,
and I've already predicted.
great.
It's not even a joke. It's
You're not
real.
going to get AC in trouble, are you?
Maybe.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm on your side.
The Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. And after today, I might need their services big time. Locally owned and operated with in-house counselors. No need to drive to places all over North Carolina just to get the help that you should be able to get here. We hear most every day about the amount of fentanyl coming into this country. We hear of the damage that Americans endure with more than 100,000 families We always talk about the victims in this case, but I want to talk about the families for a minute. More than 100,000 families have lost loved ones from opioid overdoses last year. Until a few years back, not many of us ever heard of this drug. Now, it's a common point of discussion when counselors get together, when cops get together, when they hold interagency operations. It's about as common on the streets as marijuana was 20, 30, 40 years ago. The difference is it kills. You don't get a lot of second chances. As little as 3 pinhead particles of fentanyl is capable of killing a human being. As parents, you need to learn as much about this as you can. The internet is good for a lot of things, but the real information you need won't come online. You can't trust it. If you have children, no chance you'll get the right information from them, right? No chance you will ever get it from them. As you are aware, your kids don't tell you everything. Even locally, pot laced with fentanyl has turned up right here in Onslow County. It's very cheap to produce, and dealers want to peddle their product any way they can. Fentanyl pills pressed by the drug cartels even have names of over-the-counter pain pills like Tylenol stamped on them. Would you be able to tell the difference? The counselors at Community Prevention Services can help you with that. Give them a call at 910-353-0972. Make an appointment. If you or someone else is having a problem dealing with any kind of drugs, your source for help is at Community Prevention Services. That number again, 910-353-0972. Offshore today, winds out of the east, 5 to 10 knots. Bless you. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop. Tomorrow, southeasterly winds 5 to 10. Seas 3 to 4 feet, except 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop. And on Thursday, southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet, 2 to 3 near shore. Increasing chop on the ocean tomorrow. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, partly sunny, high of 83. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 68. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 84. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 71. And then things start to change on Thursday.
Yeah.
So the rain's going to roll in. Well, during the day, it'll be mostly cloudy, high of 83 with 16-mile-an-hour gusts. But Thursday night's when the rain starts to roll in, mostly cloudy, low of 71. And then on Friday, I'll go ahead and say it's going to rain. It's going to be 83. And it's going to rain.
Yeah, and a lot of that mess is going to be coming, and we don't know exactly what the path is going to be.
That's
The
right.
current predicted path, again, of this system down there, that's going to become a hurricane, a major hurricane by Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
This is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a fast developing storm. It's been meandering down there in the Caribbean where it was born this time. So it's decided, I don't have a whole lot of time, and it's going to be moving. It's going to be passing tomorrow as a hurricane between the Yucatan on the northeastern part of the Yucatan Peninsula and that narrow little strait there between there and Cuba, the western end of Cuba. That's where it's going to pass. That means it's not going to hit any land. If it hits land somewhere like Yucatan or Cuba, then they won't develop as fast.
Yeah.
It's been a weird
But this is
season.
going to be a hurricane by Wednesday. And then by Thursday evening, Thursday afternoon, it's going to be a major hurricane. And then it's going to come ashore somewhere predicted right now in the panhandle of Florida.
Yeah. The hurricane watches have already gone up this morning.
Yep. And I'm looking at them now.
And
And then,
DeSantis
then
has
it's
already
going to cross
declared.
over. It'll turn back towards the north a little bit, and then passing over the panhandle, and then becomes a tropical storm again by Friday morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning. It will be in middle of Georgia, headed for Hotlanta. And then as it passes us sometime during the day on Friday, and as it is approaching us, but it should be way out to our west, right about there where you're going to be, Lee, in the mountains of North Carolina, and just to the west of the mountains of North Carolina into Tennessee. And, and then my cousin, you thought you were going to move from the coast of North Carolina, go to Tennessee, and never have to deal with this again. Well, wrong.
Yes.
So it's either going to be Hurricane Lee or Hurricane Jennifer, maybe both.
It's going to go right over top of her, Jennifer.
So y'all need to come on home. A UNC Chapel Hill student disappeared over the weekend while hiking in Africa. She has been found. She disappeared on Saturday, found on Sunday. 20-year-old Brooke Chevron vanished during a hike Saturday mountain. It's a big tourist place there in Cape Town, South Africa. Known for, the views and all sorts of stuff. A lot of folks go there, take photos, and body was recovered Sunday. Spent the night there. She apparently disappeared. Nightfall came and they had to stop it. Her cause of death unclear. The sophomore was interning at the University of Cape Town, and in addition to being a Moorhead Kane Scholar.
Oh, wow.
She was the 2022 valedictorian of Avery County High School, where her mother also teaches. The initial search conducted by rangers, wilderness search and rescue members, and trail runners until late Saturday night. An aircraft joined the search the next day and helped to locate her body. South African authorities, they urge people, they have not said what happened here. They don't have I don't know why they haven't said. They've had a week or several days now. They tell people to avoid hiking alone all the time. Never hike alone. They recommend it be done in groups of at least 4 people. Now, from that, and without releasing any information about the cause of death or any other circumstances, I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Apparently, the media has not done that. Something is perhaps a bit dangerous in this area. So, in spite of claims by the folks there that the area is safe and that incidents of criminal activity have, in their words, drastically been reduced. Reports earlier this year highlight muggings, and an elderly man and his wife were attacked and stabbed this year. The Cape Argus newspaper has identified more than 20 attacks and attempted armed robberies in Table Mountain National Park in recent months. Don't believe the Chamber of Commerce reports. Matters not whether you're a tourist in Cape Town, New York City, or an isolated beach in North Carolina. The old saying, there's safety in numbers, holds true today. Even a night on the town, any town, take a crowd with you. It's safer if you party together, stay together, all the way home together. You would think hiking is a safe sport. A 60-year-old North Carolina man was found dead in Arizona's Grand Canyon National Park last week after embarking on a solo hike. The backpacker, name and not being released yet, was located on a rugged and remote trail along the Colorado River. He had set off on a solo, alone, multi-day backpacking trip and was reported missing last Tuesday after failing to check in with a family member. No report on his cause of death either. The man is believed to be the 6th person to die in the park in less than a month.
Why do you want to do things like that?
In less than a
alone?
month.
I mean, just alone. What if you tripped and fell and broke your leg?
The 14th death this year. Park officials reported 11 fatalities in 2023, said there are usually about 10 to 15 deaths every year. And you tell me.
That's a
again,
high number
you
in
tell
itself.
me again, this is one part, one location. You tell me again, ladies, why everybody's up in arms and screaming and carrying on about a handful of deaths or fewer every year from swimming in the ocean with sharks.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Mhm.
Divers, 1 in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how dangerous diving is. I'm still here. I'm glad I didn't go hiking to go diving.
I'm telling you that. I mean, that place.
Hiking can be dangerous.
Yeah.
So many things can happen.
Well,
So many, and you're by yourself.
Mhm.
why, I don't think anybody, I don't care who you are, should go hiking by themselves.
No.
If you're hiking in your yard,
If
you know what I'm saying? If you live in a
stumble-
mountainous area.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at me
Yeah.
in here
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
almost a week ago. All I did was pick up that end of the couch and twisted wrong.
Mhm.
And holy mackerel, if I'd been out there hiking up in the hills
Yeah.
trying to find me a stick to help me get up and down with
Not,
while I heal,
not to mention, she's in South Africa. There's all kind of creepy
Critters.
animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
I,
most of them are two-legged.
I'm not going to go
Well.
hiking, but if I had to go hike, I would have some kind of weapon with me.
Oh, I would.
that's-
oh,
that's-
And it's illegal in a national park.
yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're. Yeah.
But if you get surprised upon, it's hard to defend yourself.
I don't know of any place except the city of New York where you have used a weapon that you're not supposed to have to defend yourself from
Mhm.
attack by people or by critters,
Yeah.
that you get arrested for it. Now, New York, different story.
L.A.
Yeah.
You may have fought off 12 rapists, wannabe
Mm-hmm.
rapists, and shot and killed every one of them, but you're going to get arrested for it.
The park rangers in Uhara, they'll check you. I mean, if they suspect you got a weapon as far as a gun, I mean, if they see it, they'll stop you. Hey, you can't have that here. But now I carry a machete.
I do too.
If I go horseback riding, we go horseback riding in the woods, I carry a machete. If I can't carry my weapon, I carry a machete.
I got a bunch of weapons in my car, machete being one of them.
Yeah. I got a
Among
cane
other
cutter.
things.
I'll carry it.
Yeah.
You're way too close and up close and
That's
personal
all right.
for those kind
I
of
want him to
things.
see me slice his head.
No doubt. I'm with you.
I mean, I just can't. Even when I drive a truck, the only time that I ever get nervous is I can't carry a weapon on the base.
Yeah.
And I don't. I just don't do it. Don't get in trouble. Don't
That's,
start
that's,
nothing
that's
on
the
me.
right story to maintain.
Exactly. And they'll check you.
Mhm.
Fort Bragg will check you, or Liberty will check you. Fort Stewart checks you. Air Base. Camp Lejeune checks you. You're going to get checked. And so it's coming. So if you got one, you better do something. Just fix it where they can't find it or don't carry it.
Let me ask a question. General rule
Yeah.
in North Carolina is if you've got a place that you consider your home, your
Mhm.
residence, which your residence is your sleeper cab, right?
Right?
If you got a sleeper cab, can you not carry one in your sleeper cab?
Oh,
Aboard Camp Lejeune, you're not supposed to have one, period. Aboard
Right.
military bases,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to have one, period. But under, let's just say, normal everyday, driving down the highway of the great state of North Carolina on Interstate 95, and they pull you over, you
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 can have one in the truck. In North
Well,
Carolina.
yeah.
You don't even not even have. And I always
But I
carry
mean,
a
if it-
shotgun in
if
the
it's
sleeper all my
if
life.
it's concealed
Yeah.
in the truck and you don't have a concealed carry permit, you cannot do
Right.
that in the cab, but you can do that in the back seat back.
Yeah.
Because that's your living quarters.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
also not within easy access. Two elements here.
Well, the old law used to be, if you got stopped and they wanted to check your sleeper, well, that's
No.
your living quarters.
Get a warrant.
Get a warrant. That don't work anymore. It's attached to the truck.
Uh-huh.
That's your loophole.
Uh-huh.
But I remember when the law was you couldn't carry a handgun across state lines, but you could carry a long gun. So we all kept
Everybody went to shotgun.
Everybody went shotgun. And so that's what we carried for years. Nobody questioned it. And the law enforcement, they knew we had them.
Mhm.
They didn't want to see them. They didn't ask you. Now you may find a rookie somewhere that might, but no, they didn't
Yeah,
ask
hard
you.
case.
In fact, I'll give you credit for this. State North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. I have never been asked to pull out my logbook. I said, "You need to see me?" No, I don't even want to see it. And that's back before they had what they call electronic logging devices. No, I don't want to see it, and because they didn't want to start nothing.
Yeah.
And they knew we had 2 or 3 logbooks if we were hot.
Mhm.
If we were wildcatting, we had 2 or 3 logbooks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to see it because they knew that's what we called it.
Yeah.
Wildcat
Yeah.
trucking, and
Yeah.
that's what we did. They were good to us. You would find a bad one about 1 out of 10. That was you see like the movies held out, like Ernest Borgnine was in the Rubber Duck movies, crap like that. Very, very seldom. They were good to us because we would help them on the highway,
Yeah, that's right.
and they knew it. They all back then they all had CBs. All you law enforcement had CBs. They hey, how about pulling over to the right? They were trying to chase this guy down, block him out.
Yep.
So we'd block him. We'd help him out, and they knew it. And we were friending them on the highway. I mean, you always talk junk about, oh, them diesel cops. No, they're doing their job.
Mhm.
That's all they're doing. They're doing their job. And and they have been in a psychological class enough, they know if you're in trouble as soon as they start talking to you. If you're nervous and you're asking what you say, they know you're trying to hide something.
Mhm.
So I used to tell them when I taught it in Florida, be direct. And if you didn't understand the question, ask, can you repeat that for me? I didn't quite get all that. Or just be direct. Don't give them any more information than what you need to give them. Because they're going to ask you a direct question. Give them a direct answer. And that's it. And that was the biggest thing. But I've only had, in my 30-some years, I probably had about 3 that was irate. And one of them I called my brother on and says, look, next time I see you, I'm going to stomp your head in for hiring him to start.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
And then,
Okay, I got a true story here, according to a good mutual
mine
friend
was
of
a
ours, somebody we all know,
Okay.
prior law enforcement. He was telling me yesterday about another lawman here in Onslow County in Jacksonville PD. He'd been around forever and ever and ever and ever. Well, he was driving along New Bridge Street and over there near what used to be the Iwo Jima Theater.
yeah.
And there used to be a trailer park there, Pecan Grove
Yeah,
or something
Pecan
like that.
Mobile Home
Yeah.
Park.
Pecan Mobile
He
Home
came
Park.
over home park.
And anyway, there was one of our famous ladies of the evening who lived there, and she was out walking on New Bridge Street, and apparently a little bit under the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Junk.
And she had most of her clothes, but
Mm.
from the waist down, she was clothed.
Yeah.
You want to figure this one and walk in the street,
Yeah.
wee morning hours, and apparently she was calling for people to advertising.
Yeah.
So this officer at the time, friend, I worked with a lot after he became a detective, especially. He pulls over and he arrests her for soliciting for the purpose of prostitution. She was well known, had records of her. Gets to court sometime later, and one of the local district court judges said, "Sally, what were you doing out there?" She said, "I was calling my dog." What?
$5. Was his name $5?
No.
Number one, drink it $10.
Here, Tizzy, here, Tizzy, here, Tizzy. Here it is, here it is, here it is.
Oh my
Let me get
gosh.
it. He found her not guilty.
Yeah.
I told this guy yesterday that the person sitting to my immediate left would do exactly what she just did and just shake her head.
Mhm.
And then she was going to say, "Oh, Lord, oh, Lord."
Just remember,
No, I'm thinking something I'm not going to say.
I remember the 3-story house that I won't say the guy's name, and he owned it.
Talking
He
about the
had
big house?
yes,
Yeah.
and that was always full.
God, that was
God
easy to
almighty.
read.
Was that the
every
one
time.
on 17 South?
No, this is one down on Newberry
Right down-
Street,
right
Ward Street.
downtown.
Yeah, I think it was Ward Street or Newberry.
Somewhere down there. Known as the big house.
They
That's
had
all
the
I
big
know.
house because
They rented rooms to,
the guy.
to the professional
The
ladies.
guy called my daddy. Says, "Could you please come fix the washing machine?" And
No,
daddy went down there that Saturday, and I went with him.
Uh-oh.
And God Almighty knows. Yeah, he fixed the washing machine.
Did you get an education?
No, I wasn't really about 12, 14 years old. But yeah, they were all running up and down the stairs, and they had little to nothing on, and
Mhm.
and Daddy said, Daddy was cutting. I was getting there for clothes on. And he was saying a whole lot more than that. I ain't got time for that mess. And the guy said, well, if you want a tip now, just pick one. They said, and then Daddy was cussing, but he fixed the man's wash machine, and I didn't know it, but he actually owned the house, and he was a bail bondsman too at the time. You know who I'm
I
talking
know
about.
exactly who you're talking about.
But
The last name start with an F.
it rhymes with socks.
Yeah, that's who I just said. Yeah.
I don't want to give out no names.
Yes.
That was an education.
I got the key to set you free.
Yep.
That was the advertisement
I got
that he
the
had in
key
the
to
news
set
in
you
the
free.
yellow pages.
Yes,
We
sir.
have the key to set you free as his bonding.
Then you
agents.
drive that big old
But
Cadillac.
you know, he told me when I got on the right, he said, "Look, if you ever go to jail, your name it won't cost you nothing. I'll go get you." He said, "Cause I know your daddy won't." I mean, I liked him. He was always nice to me.
Interesting guy.
He was,
Very.
but he made money.
Yeah, he did. He had several businesses.
Yeah, he did.
Bail bonding.
Mhm.
He got one of our former associates in law enforcement. He got caught him in the jail when he brought somebody into the jail, and he carried him all the way back into the jail area.
Yeah.
And one of the detectives that we all know so well, we knew so well, he said, "You've got a gun underneath that coat. Now you can carry one out there as a bondsman looking, but you're inside the jail here.
Mhm.
Nobody carries a gun inside the jail. You're under arrest." So they arrested the bondsman in the jail.
Wow.
doubt it.
So that would be old JR.
Yeah.
All right, former supporters. We talked about it a little bit. Those staunch supporters of Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, they're shaking their heads just like Kelly does quite often as they abandon Robinson's campaign.
Yeah.
He's been on a barge running full speed down the river. That barge is running into a sandbar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The gubernatorial candidate, a Republican, was the party's hope of taking over the governor's mansion in the November election. Earlier this year, it was, I think, a 50-50 toss-up at the time, but probably moved a bit in his direction, probably in the 55 to 45 range, because the other guy wasn't doing anything except living off of his name,
Yeah.
which was not worth much.
Right.
And of course, living off his position as the Attorney General of the great state of North Carolina. So the battle was going to be between the Attorney General and the Lieutenant Governor. And unfortunately, the Lieutenant Governor had not done a whole lot during his time.
Nope.
He was elected and thought that was just enough to get him the position. No. You got to work for
You
it.
actually have to do your job.
You got to work for it. And if you don't do
Imagine
the work
that.
that you're hired to do,
Mhm.
then you're not of much use.
No.
Now, I know the lieutenant governor doesn't have to do much, but he would have done it differently, I'm
That's
sure.
been-
He does preside over the Senate.
He does.
And he's also
if he would
on the-
ever show up.
Yeah, he never showed up very often.
less than 10 times, they said, in the last 3.5 years.
So that is a crying shame right
And
there.
he's supposed to be in charge of education, and I understand
We
he's
need our
not been
money back.
attending those meetings.
We need our money back.
He had not been attending the education meetings either.
That was the word.
With
Yeah.
report after report after report that Robinson had made some outrageous comments over the past 10 or more years, and those comments being brought to light by the opposition party,
Mm-hmm.
the lieutenant governor's chances have faded quite a bit. His defense is that he didn't really make any disparaging comments about race or anything else. Now he's taking on CNN. He says CNN is going to pay because they're the ones who brought this out. They revealed all of this. He says,
Yeah, okay.
CNN, you're going to pay for this.
Well,
It's your
revealing
fault."
and not saying it are two different things.
Mhm. Robinson's staff is running away.
As they
They're
should.
Abandoning ship. Voters
Mm-hmm.
are disgusted, and other Republican candidates
Mm-hmm.
fear a backlash. Robinson was scheduled to be on stage with Donald Trump in Wilmington last Saturday. But after the after the fans started filling up, that appearance was canceled. Unfortunately, higher ups in the Republican Party are not taking the actions with dignity. Some threats towards party support for one or more of the counties, including Onslow, have been reported unless the big money donors come through. If the big money donors do not come through, the promise has been Onslow and whatever other county, you're going to suffer in the coming years
What do you mean
from
about
the party. You're not going to get anything from the state GOP if you do not pony up. That's the big threat from one of your friends and somebody
The
I
state
know.
never gave us money.
They will support you. They will not help out. Yeah,
Well, I'm
they
very
will.
Well, they haven't
disappointed.
done much anyway.
I'm very disappointed in state GOP.
Those big wigs in the party should be careful. You don't want any more good Republicans dumping this party
Mhm.
to become unaffiliated voters. I hope you don't want any
But
more.
I
to
will
do
tell
that.
you that the state GOP knew about some of this
Oh, of
stuff
course they did.
that has come out on Robinson
Because
way
it
back
was leaked earlier.
before the primary because
Now, for y'all who want some advice from somebody who's not a member of your party or any other party, let me give you just a little bit. Over the next couple of years, you should have a search party looking for candidates.
Yeah.
For the positions in state government. You should be looking for an attorney general candidate, a lieutenant governor, gubernatorial candidate, a gubernatorial candidate. You should have the best of the best, and you should do as much homework on them. You should do backgrounds on them as much as you would on the opposition, whoever they're going to face.
right.
You should know as much about your own people as you know about the competition.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to lose. Why do you think our army, our armies have things called intel divisions?
Mhm.
They look at everything. They look at your own people, their own people. What do our guys have? Why do you think they're looking for spies within your own organization? I mean, disgruntled, even though they belong to you.
Mhm.
Why do you not think that they're looking at them as much as they're looking at the enemy?
Yeah.
To make sure that nothing like this happens, that you don't have somebody like this in your midst.
Well, Tim Spees brought up a good thing on the comments about, Robinson went like 5 years without filing taxes.
Yeah.
Isn't
I mean-
that sort of a red flag?
Well, how did they not know that before the primary?
The state knew that.
Uh-huh.
It's just there were so many things, and yes, I get it that he had a hard life and that he's done better for himself in his family life. But who in this room has not had a dark moment in their
Exactly.
life?
You mean
Everybody
since
had.
6:30 this morning?
But I still paid my taxes, and I still paid my bills.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
As difficult as it is, you need to do that, or at least work on making arrangements with
Right.
whoever it is, and they'll help you out.
Well, when you go 5 years in a row, I mean,
There's a
that's
problem.
that's a little different from having.
But why did the party not know this? I will ask y'all. Y'all are just stymied. You have no answer. Joy, do you have an answer?
That's what I was going to ask you. How come this didn't come out years ago when he was lieutenant governor?
Lieutenant governors a do nothing election, generally speaking.
Yeah.
You've
You
got a
just-
Republican and you got a Democrat, and
You're just
they don't
a
even
lot.
duke it out. They just up there. They got a name. He had a better name recognition than the other guy. That's the bottom line. Not that he was a better person, because we don't know one way or the other.
So that's why they didn't go into the background as deeper as they're going now is the reason. In other words, they just took it because he's really not.
They should have
government would
known, they should have at the time, that even if they didn't do it for when he was running for lieutenant, because he had that one all over. But
Correct.
and that's even when he was doing that, the word, everybody knew he was going to run for governor.
Mhm.
I know. That's why I can't figure out why all of a sudden it come out now.
Well, you can rest assured that the Democrats knew he was going to run for governor because everybody else in the state did. They knew when he was running for
Yes, sir.
lieutenant governor because he could have run for the gubernatorial, entered the gubernatorial race 4 years ago because he had the name
Right.
recognition then, better than he does now, in
Exactly.
fact. But the Democrats also knew that, so they already did their background check.
I
on him
think they
at
were
that
just
time.
gathering their evidence and
knew.
waiting.
They
Yeah.
knew, and they gathered it, and they waited.
Yeah, they did.
And they waited for the perfect time
Mhm.
when nothing could be done to stop them.
Well,
and
that's like
nothing could be done to replace him.
I told you, I have
Yeah.
some friends that are political strategists, and back before the
Uh-huh.
primary, they said all this was going to happen.
Yep.
And that's why by the primary, I had changed a lot of my voting. And
Right.
And we were already told to expect this, that they had a thick book on things, and it would be hitting. So
Well, they didn't lie.
Oh,
So,
no, they didn't.
So the Republicans.
Because he was really seemed to be top dog very early down, well, as we know, and then it slowly declined and then banned, but like you just said, that bullet hit. And I was just curious. We were talking, and I was thinking, it's sort of strange. He was already in office prior. Why didn't they do all that prior? And why didn't it come out? But that makes sense what you said. They sort of like saved it to get him now, I guess.
Well, it could have faded over time. If this stuff had come out, if the Republicans themselves had brought it out after he filed, or at least after he got the nomination, after the voters decided back in March he was going to be the man.
Yeah.
If the Republicans had been smart at that time, knowing all this was going to happen, they should have been running interference. They should have brought this out
Yeah.
with a defense. I'm sure
Yes.
that they could come up with some sort of a defense. Unfortunately, they would have been running up against a brick wall. The brick wall was named Mark Robinson because all he did was, no, I didn't do that. Well, yeah, you did. It's here.
Yeah.
There's too
Yeah,
much information
yeah.
about it. You done it, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just-
explain it.
It's just,
Let
Yeah,
us help you. We got paid liars
Yeah.
here can help you. Come up
oh
with the
yeah,
story.
I get what you say. That's what I was going to say.
Duh.
They got plenty of paid lawyers that can help. Liars or lawyers. Lawyers. Excuse me. I meant liars.
Yeah.
But I was sort of thinking, the more it comes out and more and more and more, and I'm like, darn, he's already been in office. I mean, how come we're just hearing about it now? But like
That's
you said,
why
it makes
it's
sense what Lee was
it's called
saying.
political
how they
strategy.
sort of waited.
The Republicans
So
do
what do
not
they do?
strategize.
that's the way they do.
Okay, well, that's really all that's all I got to input right now, because I just couldn't figure out, well, dang, he's been in office. Why didn't you bring it up back then?
Well, because
His lead line ran out. That's what I said.
so
His lead line ran out.
I hear you, Jimmy. Hey, there was it catch, was it? You
Yeah.
hook it, catch it, release. I guess he's been released.
Yeah,
he's done.
he's done.
Okay. Hello.
All right, y'all have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
It's sad.
I've only been at one public event with him in probably the entire time. I guess I did go I did some some meet and greets of several times. didn't
Yes,
I?
you
Well,
did
is that
several.
right?
Yes.
And the one that I went to, which was the last one, was
Yeah, I still have the pictures of you and him.
and he was at a local establishment here, and he was doing. Notice that much of the time he sat over there on the sidelines and didn't mingle with anybody at that time.
Yeah.
He was just sitting there. He did his thing when he got up, stood up. He did his little song. He sang a song,
Right,
country
he
song.
did. Yes, he did.
I mean, he
Sang a good song. It was good.
Everybody was cool with that. I mean,
Yes.
and got a lot of applause and around. But he sat over there on the sidelines in the meantime, and somebody would walk by and say, "Hey," but
Yeah.
he wasn't out there shaking hands and kissing babies or
His
anything else.
forte is get behind a podium.
Yeah,
With
that
a
was it.
microphone.
Preacher.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
his
it.
forte.
He had nothing else beyond that.
And if you listen to him, by the time he's done, you feel like you've been to church.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just what I said. He was preaching.
That's right. You feel like you've been to church. I mean, he didn't say, "This is what I've done as lieutenant governor, and this is what I'm going to do as governor." You didn't hear any of that.
No, we didn't hear
but
any
you
of that.
felt like you'd been to church. And it was always a good feeling.
Yeah, got another caller. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Fine,
We're
how are you,
hanging in here.
Steve?
There's my libertarian Steve.
Libertarian.
Yeah, libertarian.
He's not libertarian.
He's worse than Elliot was.
Oh my gosh.
He's unaffiliated.
See, I can pick on him.
Oh, Steve, 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 if you'll run on down to your laundries, that can probably get those tire drags out of your clothes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm picking on you. I had to say something.
I know you are, man. As long as you're picking on me, you're leaving everybody else
That's
alone.
right.
So I don't
No, he's gonna
And
pick on them too.
You and Theo are my favorite. I like to pick on you and Theo, and I do pick on Theo too.
Bye,
I got
Kelly.
mind. I've been listening to the conversation about, why the Republican Party didn't find this out about Robinson, and I think sometimes the simplest explanation is usually the right one. Opposition research and research in general costs money. Once we become a gubernatorial candidate, that caused a lot of people to put money and focus in on this deep dive research. And I think it was CNN, and that makes, the news media as well, they will start putting money into sending people to go, dig deep into these people's background at that
Well,
point.
let me give you another clue on that one. They didn't have to. They were provided the information. The thing they had to do at that point in time was put this line down here, confirm this, put this line down. It's easy to confirm something if you've already given all the information. Duh. So
Right.
CNN
But-
does not have a deep dive team. None of the networks do anymore. They don't originate any of this stuff. They get the information provided to them and they go with it.
And we have to also remember
I can see
that
yeah.
we
Yeah.
also,
But just the same, the motivation is because of, he's running for governor. It's going to draw more focus.
Of
It's gonna
course.
draw more people, doing those deep dives.
Yeah.
I wish they would have found this out a long time ago, as well.
You mean the Republicans?
I'm sorry?
You mean the Republicans had found it out?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well,
wish they would have found it out. They would have,
that's why I would encourage either party, whichever party it is, to vet your own people first. Don't worry about the opposition. Make sure your background, your people are basically clean. I didn't say squeaky clean because there ain't nobody that way, right, Steve?
Well, I mean, we're all a bunch of sinners. There ain't none of us saints.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're looking for somebody perfect, you're probably going to be disappointed all the time.
other than St. Diane.
And yes, St. Diane. She's special.
That's what her story is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I tell everybody anyway. She don't, but I do.
So
I tell my wife she's not perfect either, because if she was, she could fix me.
Well, you know the song and you know the song.
That's
And
a
I
good
have
one.
sung it. You're close enough to perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I get away with a lot of stuff sometimes.
oh my God.
But she is.
That makes her laugh all the time.
Is
I'm
it
like, you wouldn't let me do all
Thursday
the stuff I do.
I just hope the statute of limitations has expired.
She
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
people
have
pray
one
for her all the time.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was going to say, Rayford, one more thing I wanted to touch on. I heard
Sure.
you say something about it yesterday, and it really in my mind for some reason is we talked about the people around Trump and his administration that have spoken out against him.
Yep.
And I've heard you refer to them several times as disgruntled employees.
Well, I would be disgruntled too when you get fired. I get
Yeah.
disgruntled, don't you?
Well, to me, it sounds like you're trying to discredit or trying to find their credibility.
No, I say it's predictable.
It's predictable. Is
Yeah,
that what
what they're doing is very predictable. I mean, the same thing for
Well,
anybody else who gets fired. They're what they've got to offer. We know what they've got to offer because nobody that close to anybody else doesn't have something to offer. I did not say that information was false.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like you're referring to them like they got fired from McDonald's, disgruntled employees from there. And there's two of them that stick out to me in particular, and one of them is General Kelly, and the other one is General Milley, and that they would sacrifice their integrity in the slightest way just because they're disgruntled employees.
Steve,
I highly doubt that.
Steve, there's probably not an employee out there in a big organization or company or whatever. There's probably not an employee out there hanging around that doesn't have information that would be damaging to their employer. They don't release it. They don't reveal it. They just shut up about it unless they get to be a whistleblower, right? If they're within the organization, they're known as whistleblowers. Once they leave the organization, even though they've got the same information, they become disgruntled, and that's when they release it. That doesn't mean information is tainted whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. That's exactly the way it works. Would you not agree to that?
On a technical standpoint, yeah, but it just that's just not the way it comes across.
Well, when everybody
And
hollers,
that's my opinion. That's
so-
completely my opinion.
so
I'm
what's
not
the
holding you to
difference
that,
between a
you know.
whistleblower
You
and a
can't control mine.
what's the difference between a whistleblower and a disgruntled ex-employee? The title, the name.
Well, I think these particular people standing up waving a red flag to the American people deserves more than just calling them disgruntled employees.
Do they deserve more than the whistleblower deserves?
I think their credibility is pretty strong.
What about a
I don't know
whistleblower?
I don't know what the average whistleblower would be. I know what their credibility is. I know what their standing is.
Mhm.
What whistleblower were? I don't know how to compare that.
What is the motivation between one? What is the difference in the motivation from one to the other?
I feel those two particular ones, man. I feel like their motivation is somewhat patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more so than I would think. And it's not just those two. It's a super majority of the people that were around him that have spoken out as well.
Okay, I'm just going to
They
do.
give it
I'm just going
additional
to.
credibility.
I'm going to do
If the whole
individuals.
company, if all the employees were saying, "Hey, the boss is not fit to run the company,"
Mhm.
is that not more credible than just saying that they're all disgruntled employees?
I'm
I mean,
gonna
they
go-
all got fired.
I'm going to go a
eventually.
little bit deeper here. I'm going to go into my ballpark here for just a minute. Let's just take that. I don't know, the wife and of a drug dealer who's getting ticked off because he's whooped up on her. Let's just take the employees, the folks who are working for this drug distributor. Let's just take these individuals who are sick and tired of him. Let's take the competition for this drug dealer, another drug dealer, and they go to the cops and they say, guess what this dude has done? Do they deserve any less credit or any more credit than a whistleblower or a disgruntled
you can
ex-employee?
I'm not even sure how to address that question.
That's why I
I'm not
asked the
sure what to
question.
say. I mean, are we comparing two highly decorated 4-star generals with drug dealers? And that's who's more credible?
I'm saying the
I don't even
information.
know how to answer that.
I'm
I mean,
saying
that's obvious.
I'm saying the
You know,
information that's provided, is it any more useful or less useful? Any one of them, is it any more useful or less useful than one or the other?
I'm not even sure where we're at with this conversation at this point. What you're asking me?
Mhm.
What do you mean more?
The
That's very confusing.
information coming from a drug dealer who's in competition
Yeah.
with another drug dealer, is that information
Okay.
any less valuable to the police than the information from a disgruntled or former employee that you say they're highly decorated, yada, yada, yada? Is that any more or less useful than that individual?
That's a hypothetical that'd be hard to answer because you're talking about hypothetical information
No, I'm
about a
not.
hypothetical situation.
I'm talking about facts that are proven.
And you say highly decorated 4-star general, yada yada yada. Man, that matters. When you're talking about credibility, and and the credibility is how valuable the information is. We could really go down a rabbit hole on all this
Hmm.
because the question you're asking me is not really a fair question.
Okay. I think it is a fair question because I work on both sides of that. So I think the information they supply is
Well, you probably
it's
have
very
a specific
valuable.
scenario in mind where I'm just sitting there going, okay, what information from who about what? Sometimes the information from those type of people you're talking about is not credible, and you have to be very suspicious.
sometimes
of them.
the information
But-
coming from a 4-star general is not credible either. That's been proven time and again.
And I would give you that, but you have two generals that have a similar opinion, and they are also backed up by around 40 of the other cabinet
Mhm.
officials as well.
Again,
So,
the information.
to call them just disgruntled employees.
Again,
sounds like you're trying
Steve.
to discredit their opinion.
Again, Steve, the information
But
supplied by either one of them is proven to be accurate. So which is more valuable or less valuable? Is either one of them less valuable than the other one? That answer is an easy no. It's not. the information provided by drug dealers to take a drug dealer or a distributor off the street, let me tell you how valuable that can be. It can save your kids.
Where in what I was saying did I insinuate that that wasn't valuable?
Well, I was asking you whether that's more valuable or less valuable, and you say no.
I mean, you didn't tell me what kind of information that. Like I say, I don't. You from your experience, you're thinking about specific scenarios from your past when you talk about things like that. I don't know what you're talking about when you say the information from the drug dealer or the people.
Well, no, they're not going to talk to me about it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't have no reference to answer that question.
They're not, a drug dealer's not going to supply a cop information about somebody jaywalking. All right, come on, get over it. They're going to supply information about somebody else dealing drugs.
At what level? I mean, are you talking about,
What are the two
level stuff or street level stuff? Or, I mean, like I say, it's hard for me to answer that question because I don't have the same reference you do when you talk about stuff like that.
Right,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, I will rely on those individuals as much as I will rely on them as much as we rely on the two generals to deal with this case.
I will say that the information, if proven true, can be just as credible from one as it is the other. But if you're talking about the initial credibility of a drug dealer versus a highly decorated 4-star general, is that even a serious question? Of course, you're going to consider the highly decorated general credible.
Steve, you and the majority of the individuals out there who will answer that question will only consider the motivation. What the motivation is. I consider what the product, the end result is going to be. Motivation from one is different than the motivation from the other. But and I really don't care what the motivation is. I care about the information.
I know you're not saying that 4-star generals are no more credible than your average drug dealer. I know that's not what you're saying.
I did not say that. That's correct.
Well, I mean, okay. Anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I had to say what I wanted to say.
All right, very good, Steve.
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree.
Appreciate
Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye.
What?
What'd you say? We got a couple of fine folks in here.
I got lost in all of that.
Because you weren't listening.
Sorry, Steve.
So I kept my mouth shut.
I was just like,
I like to bounce on in there because I'm
time for Fox
Simple.
News.
I'm simple and country.
Yes,
Well, where's your microphone?
his is right over there.
We got to talk into it first.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was fine. I'm just simple and country.
No, the point
needs to
is
be
the
not.
point is not to shoot down
not
a
a wildcat.
disgruntled.
If he was a wildcat sitting up there, I'd be a happy child.
Remember,
Yeah.
remember
Yes,
that.
Yeah, they'd be throwing me out. And you got
The point I will make before we move on is very simple. I do not discredit either one of those generals or any of the other disgruntled employees, ex-employees, because they can provide great information.
Yeah.
The people who are working still in the business with an individual, spies, if you want to call them that, I have no problem with spies. We all use spies. Some of us have been involved in things like that. I do not discredit that information from whistleblowers. I certainly do not discredit information, and I've got at least one of these individuals over here who gets the same kind of, actually two of them, gets the same kind of information that I used to get from individuals. And the greatest help for law enforcement are sources.
Exactly.
Tell me we're not even going to discuss that, but for about 2 more seconds, got Sergeant Vanessa Smith in here, and she's a great source of mine, but she's going to reveal where her husband goes fishing shortly.
He's out this morning, I think, in Newbern.
Oh yeah, is he fishing for specks or reds?
Big drums.
Yeah, the big reds. Okay,
Mhm,
I gotcha.
Then we have
That's a good area up there. He can bring me
Guzman?
some. I might fish through.
Guzman.
Guzman.
Guzman, that's right.
I told you I had it
We
right.
were trying, yeah, I know. I
Short
thought it
mind
was
as I am,
Guzman.
I can remember.
We have Officer Guzman, and he
Mhm.
surprised me. He came in uniform this morning. I was like, woo!
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll.
He's
Ready
hiding in
to
plain
rock
sight.
and
Yeah.
roll.
Anyway, best people out there, the best help for law enforcement are all the other people out there because you can't do the job by yourself, right?
Amen.
Sources,
Resources.
and some of them have personal things to gain.
True.
And if you're in the drug business, trying to knock the competition out is one of those things you have to gain. Does that discredit the information they provide? You have to question it, but you got to question the 4-star general too. I do. Personally, I've met a few generals that I would have to question
I
them.
wonder how they got there.
Something like that. Anyway, we got first of all, we got National Night coming up
We do next
again
week.
in a week from today. If it doesn't rain again,
Mhm.
that can't happen. Not 2 times in a row. I hope. It's a big event coming up. That's wonderful. So what else we got going on the JPD these days?
Yeah, we've got a lot coming up. So our big thing is we have a coffee with a cop tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But then Saturday we have an open house event / meet the chief at the police
The new
department.
chief.
Meet the new police chief. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him the day that he was that he took the badge, and that was interesting because I stood in line. I was the last one to say hey. You know what my line to him was?
Oh goodness. What'd you tell him?
I said, Chief, I said, welcome aboard. And, I wore that uniform many years ago, but I just want to give you a little piece of advice. Don't screw up what these other people have done. So
Well, thank you.
I got off on a good start.
We're already on the list.
No, I think he's a really good guy from all the history that I'm that's come out about him. I think he's going to be good. And
I think so.
he
too.
also has a sense of humor, folks.
He does.
And the sense of humor became very apparent when his daughter pinned his badge on him. And he hollered, "Oh!" And he says, "Just kidding." And she jumped. It's like, he jumped. So I knew right then we got a good guy. So
Was
sense of
Sergeant
humor will
Smith-
carry you a long ways.
Where is this meet the chief going to take place?
It's going to be at the police department from 2 to 6. So we're going to also make an open house because we do a lot of tours of the police department. That's during the weekdays. So this time we're going to be able to do it during the weekends. So if you're busy and you're working and you want to come, check out what we have, we'll have all of our different units also represented. So you'll be able to see some of the cool stuff we have, like the SWAT truck and some of our traffic gear, and kind of meet everybody on the outside. Then you're going to come on the inside and take a tour of the PD and meet Chief Phelps.
You've been through that entire department, right? That whole police station. You know every corner of it, don't you?
Yeah, I've been there a long time.
Do you get lost up there anytime? Because I've been up there several times recently for something else, but that's a huge place.
It is a very big building.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
It took a long time to learn it.
I've been upstairs, way up there where all the mechanical stuff is. Have
Oh,
you
you've
been
been-
in that section?
Oh, the penthouse? Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, it's a
Interesting.
very
isn't it?
nice penthouse. Mhm.
It is. Oh, I don't want to be there during a hurricane.
No, preferably not, but that's where all the snacks are kept. So maybe during a hurricane, that's where you
I
go.
saw a lot of water and stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a lot of food hidden up there.
Mm-hmm. There
And
is.
unfortunately, probably call it MREs. But anyway, it's better than nothing. Okay, so coffee with a cop
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow.
Correct.
Where?
That's going to be a blend. So that's right across from the police department from 9 to 11.
Okay.
Have coffee with a cop, open house, and then next week is National Night Out.
Yeah.
You're
That's,
busy.
It's gonna be a busy time. You're gonna be able to have any time to arrest anybody during that time?
Me? Probably not. Let's be real. Officer
rest of me
Gilman,
got-
maybe.
Rest of them, you got to process them, right?
That's true. So that's why we have all the young ones. They can have all the fun of
The
it.
young ones,
The young officers, the young
and
ones.
you are what?
Not the young one.
We all around here.
Yeah.
I'm like the middle-aged one.
I got
Yeah.
cancer spots over than you are. No, I weren't close to them. I didn't want to hear.
No,
it too
you're not
much.
even close to the mic.
I'm trying.
just
I don't want
trying
to get in
check.
trouble.
It's too late for that.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll be driving through here tomorrow.
Mhm.
I got to go to Radio Island.
You
anyway.
better drive
Just-
slow.
What
Just keep
time?
right there on Lejeune Boulevard and just wait. When you see that Mac coming through, just yep, that's him, and I got it. I love it right there when it tickles me. You don't have a police officer. Well, I still don't say cop because when I was raised, cop, fuzz, pig was dirty work. You didn't do it. You would get your tail whipped.
Mm-hmm.
But police officers sit right there when they come off that 60 and they drop down to 45. They just forget. And they just, and I'm laughing. Well, and I always said, hope he's there.
Yeah, they don't generally do that.
And they'll be sitting, and they'll get one once in a while because they're running down through there to 45 and 60. They have forgot.
Mhm.
They
They can't read.
Yeah, they
Mm-mm.
won't read. And I laugh at them because I slow right on down. I get paid by the hour. Why not need to be slow?
True.
I
Very
mean,
true.
it's 3 hours from Wilmington to Radio Island for me in a truck.
Mhm.
And if I'm hauling something heavy, it's about 3.5.
Mhm.
And that's, I just ease right on through. And I laugh. But every time I come through Jacksonville, they forget. Okay.
I got,
He's
they
going to
got
be
You're gonna
there.
get it.
Jacksonville's got the coolest cars, and
Oh, yeah.
these days they have those ghost cars. I love them.
Mhm.
And
They all I like
for you folks out there on Commerce who like to get out there,
See 'em.
since it's opened up now,
Most every
all the way to
morning.
Piney Green Road. It's okay to give you a little bit of a warning because you're not going to listen. You're not going to pay attention anyway. But they gotten really smart there. There's one car there, not every day, but most days.
Mhm.
And then, hey, I got by him. He didn't get me. And then you put the pedal down, and guess what? They got another one at the other end, just waiting for you.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
see the ghost cart. He's backed into a parking
Mhm.
spot
Yeah, I see.
in a business parking lot.
See the-
I'm like, I see you.
Yeah,
But I'm also doing the speed limit.
yeah, me
so-
too. I've got cruise control. The minute I leave my
Yes.
house, I hit that sucker on.
I
and
have
that's what I
to.
get. Yeah,
Because it's
absolutely.
so easy when you're only doing 25 to
Mm.
Mhm.
lay it a
And you
little
will
bit more.
forget. You'll forget.
Uh-huh.
You'll forget where you are.
And that'll be me.
And I tell people, if you're going to be like that, turn your phone on, turn your GPS on, and just look at it because it's going to tell you when the speed limit drops or rises. And it might be delayed, but that is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, well,
If you're not familiar with it, tell them that truck drivers that all the time trying to get the Piney Green gate. Slow down.
Slow down.
Turn
Mhm.
just look at the
GPS.
speedometer. My God.
Well, yeah, but there again, a lot of them they're not reading the sign. When you come off the bypass and on Lejeune Boulevard, the sign says 45.
Do not pick the fastest car to get behind. Pick the slowest, and you'll be okay. Because somebody's going to be speed limit. The smart ones.
The smart ones.
Those who've
Those
had tickets
insurance.
are going to run the speed limit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, so you guys have got these two events coming up
Mhm.
now. Do people just drop by tomorrow?
Yep, for the coffee with a cop.
Mhm.
Yep, they just come by, grab them a cup of coffee, and have some conversations.
Suppose I don't like coffee, which I don't.
Blend, I think, has a lot of different options.
Some juices and
Some
stuff
Some
like that.
juices.
That's good.
They got the little Aussie bowls and
Bring your Diet Mountain.
toast. All some fancy
Put a
things.
Diet
in it.
Mountain in your hip pocket. You be all
I like a blend too, but I like orange juice and pineapple juice together.
That's good.
That sounds yummy.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great
Well,
great
how was
combo.
the turnout on your coffee with a cop? Has that been a pretty good turnout, all the past ones that you've done?
Some of them are typically very good. I know they did one a few weeks ago at the Starbucks inside Target, and that turnout was pretty good. So,
Oh, that's a busy Starbucks.
mhm.
That's good.
So you move around a lot for these
Mhm.
events.
We do try to move around to different coffee shops, so kind of meet people where they are.
What do the people talk to you? You go to these, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do people talk to you about when they come in? They say, what's the best way to get out of a ticket or anything like that?
Usually not. Usually, like it's some real conversation. Sometimes it's people interested in becoming law enforcement.
Oh, really?
So they'll ask how do they get there, and
So you're
the
a
steps that they
recruiter.
take. I'm also the recruiter. Yes,
Mhm.
sir. I wear many hats.
There you go.
Mrs. Gunny B, a recruiter, a coffee connoisseur,
Mhm.
all the things.
What kind of people do you run into? What do they come up to talk to you about?
One of the greatest parts, at least that I enjoy when I go there, is that many people in your community also likes to come, say hi. I'm talking about like people from your specific sector that you're
Mhm.
assigned. Just catch up on things, talk a little bit about everything, not necessarily law enforcement related, but get to know them a little better. Share war stories, and I met with a lot of veterans and
I
a
was
lot of
gonna say, you
retirees.
probably got a lot of
Yeah.
military. Marine
So
Corps.
hearing their stories, all the stuff they gotta say, and also their concerns and some of their suggestions so how we can improve. I mean, it's great. You hear a little bit of everything without that, which makes it super fun and really good to go. And like you say, some people also go over there and, go straight to the point and sit along the lines that you use, how I can fix this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a little things like
Just
that.
don't do it again.
A little bit of everything, which is, like I say, makes it fun for everyone to go there. And we also encounter mothers with kids, getting coffee and things like that. We get the opportunity to say hi to the kids, take some photos every now and then, and, having a good time. That's what it's all about. And closing that gap with the community and engaging with them.
I'm individually, you guys have been out. You're on duty, you're in uniform, you're wherever, but you stop for a cup of coffee, you stop for dinner, because you guys get to eat actually when you're in. People don't realize that, but you get to sit down and have a meal. Sometimes you get called away from it, but sometimes you get to sit there. You ever have over here, anybody tell their kid, if you don't behave, they're going to arrest you?
Oh, many times.
Oh,
That's a disgusting way to do things. Don't raise your kids that way. These guys are good guys.
Mhm.
They don't have to arrest you.
I agree.
So that was one of the things that always irked me, just to hear somebody say that.
Me too.
Mhm.
Just that's wrong.
Totally
You want
wrong.
to start off introducing your children to the law
Yeah.
and respecting
they're the good
and
guys.
knowing. Yes, they're the good guys. They wear the white hats. If you're in trouble, that's who you go to.
Mhm.
What kind of takeaway? What would be a good takeaway from events like National Night Out, Officer Guzman? I know you're going to be there.
Of course, yes. Well, National Night Out is the biggest event, right? Where we get actually to talk to people. People get to see us, get to see all the stuff we do. We celebrate music, food, everything you can think of. To me, the biggest takeaway and from the past times that I've been over there is once again that engagement with the community. That aspect that law enforcement, besides applying or upholding the law, also it's over there for resources, for help, for assistance. We get to know a little bit of everything. Also, that when we, get the bicycle giveaway, that's a huge thing that we do. Corporal Fannie Miller does an excellent job with that. I can see also families, kids enjoying themselves over there. So it's more like a family time. I guess the biggest takeaway, like I said, in my eyes, is that cohesion, community, and police department together. Because at the end of the day, we need each other to provide a safety community. And I think that NNO reflects that pretty well.
It's interesting that you mentioned the corporal that takes care of the bike giveaway.
Yeah.
When you join the department, you pretty much everybody does the same job. You get out, you ride the highways and the byways, and you get tickets when necessary. You do your job, right?
Mhm.
But then somebody up high, or even the officers themselves, will sometimes say, I have this little thing that I really have an interest in. Bike giveaways, helping little kids do this, and you volunteer for certain details, and you come up with an idea. That works well in JPT too, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
You
we-
have a personal interest in something. Well, why not take advantage of it? The smart administrators do just that.
Mhm. And I would say, like, when I joined law enforcement, there's a lot of things that I do now that I never would have thought that I would have ever done. And some of that's, those extra things, we do are running with the law.
Right.
So I coordinated that the very first, couple of years. And I'm like, as a
you're a woman.
cop, yeah, and as a, police officer, you never, think that you will, do something like that. Or there's a lot of things that we do that are outside of just law enforcement. So it's a unique career path, that's for sure.
I can tell you, in my experience, I'm very grateful with the opportunity, right, to join GMPD. But now that I'm doing community services, I'm even more grateful because my division, all my admin chiefs, everybody supports us, the ideas and the things we're gonna do. I can tell you my experience that I brought a couple ideas to my office after joining community services, and I was provided full support to go ahead and do these events, or and plan more ahead and present ideas more formally. But like I say, that I've been provided, let me correct that, all the time with full support when I need to do something, or when something come out of my head, I say, hey, boss, let's do this. And I believe this is going to target this audience. I believe we need to do this, or how we can make this happen. I always get full support. So the stuff you say is true, and we exercise that a lot here in JPD. All ideas are welcome, and full support of the command is there for you.
You know what? You know very quickly when you volunteer, you come up with an idea and you do it. And then when you're not doing it anymore and it becomes like, oh, we've got to do that. And the bosses will find somebody else to carry on because it was a good idea.
Correct.
If it survives the test of time
Mm-hmm.
and a test of a change of personnel,
Mm-hmm.
now you know it was a really good idea. Looking back on it in the future, when you guys get to the retirement time and it's still going on, you can take credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good thing.
Sure
love,
is.
love to see those kinds of things. What about the future? Here, and we won't tell him what you're. And I'm sure he's not listening. So don't worry about it, and nobody else will tell him.
Oh,
We never
okay.
record anything, and you can't go back later and see it.
Unless then, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
She's like, yeah,
This is a loaded question.
Now, is there anything? And you know what I told him, but and I was serious about it. You got a great group of people, a great operation here. So don't mess it up. All you got to do is chill and just keep on going. But I'm sure he's going to come in with some innovative ideas. Have you been made aware of any of those yet? Anything that what everybody has a personal thing they like to see. You know, I know a former chief here, he came in from a vice unit out of Ohio, I think, many years ago. I knew his interest was going to be, let's make sure our streets are clean,
Yeah.
the scum. So have you picked up on anything personal that he wants to get done?
So there's a few things that he's already done, and I honestly think that they're good things that that we're doing, that he wants to do. And one of those things is when we have a promotion, and that could be for corporal, and we had a lieutenant's promotion. He had all of us afterwards take the oath again.
Really?
So again, like that's not bad, and I think it was kind of neat for all of us to do
refresher
that. A
course.
refresher, right?
Not a problem with that. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, so that was neat. So I know like big changes. He's kind of waiting and seeing like how our agency runs, what's the culture of the department and our city, and how we interact, and then kind of go from there. But small things like that, which again, like, no problem. That's good.
I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, do you know how many employees you have now that are employed at the public safety office as police officers?
As sworn lawmen.
Yeah, sworn law
Sworn.
enforcement
Personnel,
officers.
Yeah. So I think we're about to 138, 140 sworn
Wow.
officers.
Remember the day when it was like, what, 30, 40,
I remember 20.
20? I don't remember that far back, but that's how much it's grown.
Mhm.
Of course, the city limits ran from the New River to Belfort Road,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and did not include Belfort Road.
Oh, wow.
That was this county job.
Well, we keep annexing a lot of other places. So
Yeah, we're all
we
the
keep
way out now
growing.
to here, which I'll never forget my dad when he located this piece of property, because there was nothing between Piney Green, Pumpkin Center up there, and Jacksonville except a used car lot, a Rambler dealer.
Yes.
You knew where that was. There was nothing
Pelletiers,
between
yeah.
here and there
Mhm.
at that time.
It's definitely grown.
No, it has grown.
It's grown. I've been here since 2007, and it's
Oh, it's grown since then
grown
too.
a lot
Wow.
since then. That's for
So,
sure.
what is your biggest complaint from citizens when they come to these coffees, or even if you're on the street talking to someone? What's the biggest complaint that you find around this area from people?
Yelmer?
Mine is traffic. So,
It's broad.
Right.
It's dependent on the area. People have different needs, different perceptions of what needs to be done. So we try always to assess what we can do, right? They can obviously request as much assistance as they want, let's put it that way, but we will provide the assistance that we can and we're allowed to do, if that makes any sense. Many people, depending, like I said, the area, it can be complaints about something like loud noises and people just not getting along kind of thing. Then we have the traffic complaints that's always happening. people assuming certain things also as far as like crime prevention and things like that. So it's really hard for me. And as I talk to several of my business owners and on my sector and apartment managers and stuff like that, it really varies depending on the location, being honest with you. It's not, at least in my sector, it's not a set thing that I hear it all the time. It's just a variety depending on the need, or if some past event has happened there, or incident that they believe that it's their priority, right? Or they need that assistance to be there to deal with that issue. So we try to provide and answer all those different things that you get brought to us. But like I said, in my specific sector, once again, there is not a one set thing. It's just a variety of things. It's just dependent on people's needs and what's going on in the area.
How many times you go to a call in your career? How many times you've been to a call and they say, I don't know what took you so long to get here. I called you 4 hours ago or 30 minutes ago. I'm sitting over here and this guy's bleeding to death and you just didn't show up. When you check the time, it's been 2 minutes or 3 minutes. You get those complaints?
Sometimes we do, but like you said, their perception of time to truth is different. And I get it. Like, you're in that stressful situation.
Sure.
You want things to happen immediately, but we do have to like drive there.
And when their adrenaline's flowing, a second turns into a minute.
Correct.
And that's the bit. And I used
That's
to,
right.
when I volunteered fireman, they'd say, so it took y'all this. And I said, well, the alarm went off at this time. We got here at this time. So you figured it. Plus, we had to leave home and go to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was longer than that. Okay. Just telling you how. Because this time, I said, you can call Central Dispatch on the business number. They got the times down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So tomorrow is your coffee with a cop. Saturday is meet the chief, and then
Mhm.
Tuesday is National Night Out.
Yes, ma'am.
Busy people.
Oh, yeah.
We put all that on our social media
Mm-hmm.
for anyone that's listening and watching and needs to know the date. So that's all on here.
We missed you at Citizens Academy.
Yes.
Well,
I
Yes.
just like you
Yeah.
to know.
She's
Well,
going to have to do that next time because guess what she did do?
What did she
don't
do?
yell at me.
The guy with a different color uniform walked in here one day and
Dear
he
me.
said, you will be, or you will go to jail.
I'm at the
It's
She
sheriff's
went to the
choice.
sheriff's office.
No, they dragged her
third week
screaming
tonight.
there.
Third week
Oh.
tonight, but I want to do JPD's
Okay.
next time because I'm gonna do a story on what I'm doing now.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what, I've lived here a long time, and I was in a law enforcement related field for a long time.
She's taking a refresher.
I
courses.
thought I knew a lot, but I have learned. I have
Things have
enjoyed
changed.
it.
Things have changed.
Things
just a
have
little bit.
changed. And
Mhm.
last week we got to tour the jail
Okay.
and the detention center and all that stuff. And I'm like, hey, there's so much more involved than a person would think.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I promise I'll be at your next one.
Okay.
Now,
I'll be at your
I
next.
don't know where mine are. My wife has put a lot of old stuff away in a cedar chest somewhere, so I don't know where the cedar chest is. So, do you have an extra pair of handcuffs? I will make sure she's there next time.
I have my own.
She's got her on their velvet.
Just got to
Really?
take the fuzz. No, I'm just kidding.
She got velvet handcuffs.
I need one of those with that odd key. The one that looks like,
Something came
the
up
one that looks like
where
a soft drink key. Soft drink.
I don't know that
You've never
one.
seen
Yeah,
those?
I've never seen that
Oh,
Oh,
one.
got
there's
some
some
of
high
the
security
keys.
ones.
something came
goodness.
up the first week or two that I knew I wouldn't be able to go. And then I kind of let it go. And then when Sheriff Thomas was like, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
okay, challenge accepted.
No,
And I've really enjoyed it. Tonight we get to go to court.
Very cool.
Of course, I know the judge, so maybe I'll get off
no, I doubt
easy.
it.
Maybe I'll get off easy. He's a Republican judge.
Who's your judge?
Of course, they are. Bob Root.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Everybody knows Bob.
Bob Roop's amazing.
Yeah.
It was sad to see him leave the
Don't-
district
don't-
attorney's office.
Don't call him Bob, though. Okay.
I'll
Your
call
Honor,
him Judge
sir.
out of
Judge Root.
respect.
No, Your Honor. It was good.
Your Honor.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. It's good people.
Yes. Most definitely.
Well, thank you, folks, for taking the time to come by.
Yeah, thanks for having us as
And,
always.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
that
we
the
love
folks who are listening will get the whole idea here. And the reason that I ask questions like I do, because these are just people. I mean, out of that uniform, they're just naked like everybody else, right?
That's
You're
it.
just a normal person,
Mhm.
both of you. you got the same feelings, the same human qualities as other folks do. So,
Sure.
you know,
Yes.
come on, get to know them.
And thank
You've got
you.
a couple of opportunities.
And thank you as always
Yeah, absolutely.
for what you do.
Thank you for what you have done, what you continue to do. So we do appreciate it.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
hope to see you at least National Night Out and maybe coffee tomorrow. Saturday, I won't be here, but
You might.
I've already paid for this
Have you
trip.
seen the track of that storm? It's
I
going right
know
where
it,
you're
but I've
planning to
already
be.
paid for
She's
it.
going to the mountains, and there's that storm that's going to go through the mountains too on this weekend.
Wow. Bring extra canned goods.
I got some MREs somewhere.
I got
Yeah.
4-wheel drive. I'll escape that mountain.
That just gets you stuck.
I'll just have to go move in with my granddaughter in her dorm.
Mm.
They evacuate the dorms, you're in
Yeah.
trouble.
They have a hurricane party and you'll be right in the middle of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can see that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, it'll be fine. I have faith everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
So,
Enjoy your trip.
I had an idea yesterday, so
Oh.
we're through with the official stuff here. I thought that it might be great if you arranged a trip for the live and local team on a boat, and then we go fishing.
oh, this has nothing to do with the police department now. This is all about fishing.
Uh-huh,
This is how this is her wifely duties that her
Oh,
the
wifely
influence-
duties.
I was the male chauvinist figure.
No. The influence that
Oh.
she can
Yeah.
come up with.
I don't know.
I
It might
think
be
that's what
true.
you're
If you want
doing.
me
That's
to
what
do
I promise
something,
that you're
get
going to be
my
doing.
He's booked the rest of the week, so you're looking at next week.
Well, yeah, I don't want to go this week anyway.
You sure you don't want to go this weekend when the storm hits?
I don't.
Okay, good.
I'm smarter than that.
Did you see he fell and hurt himself at the boat ramp? I'll have to show you a photo. It's
Really?
dangerous out there at the boat ramps.
I know that.
Mhm.
Slippery.
It is
It
very
is.
slippery. That's what
Uh-huh.
happened. We
I-
wound up in the emergency room.
That's where
Really?
most,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's where most
Oh,
of the
my.
accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
boating
my.
accidents. Most,
Oh, my.
I can
Oh.
see.
So, Officer Guzman, are you on the dive team?
No, I personally
You might
stay
want
away
to
from the water.
consider.
Yeah, and especially I saw him actually after he fell, and
This
he
was
wasn't
at the
looking very
boat
good.
ramp.
So
Whew.
You see the water, the bottom there,
Oh,
just
yeah.
underneath it. It's about 6 or 8 inches deep.
That's a
He
big
was-
old alligator.
It's about 4 feet. But anyway,
It's big enough.
right at the boat ramp, waiting.
oh my goodness.
So alligators are
Yeah.
everywhere around here. So.
Yes, they are.
Good thing you didn't fall in. Oh,
Snakes,
no.
too.
Really?
He got a concussion.
Oh, bless his heart. A
Did it
concussion.
knock
too?
some sense into him?
No.
Let's see.
He's still not that
Oh,
way.
my
That's
God.
awful. Sorry, Brad.
Oh, wow.
Captain, he outranks you in rank, doesn't he?
Oh no.
Boy, you're really
Oh, yeah.
batting
are
100.
you
and
saying
talking
only,
about
you
something.
better
He's a-
say
he's a
only at
captain.
home.
He's a captain.
On his boat. He's not a captain in our home.
I knew that was coming.
I'm just waiting, Rayford. You're just really
it's easy to bait
piling
people
it on
together,
this
but
morning.
their true colors come out very quickly. don't
You
they?
are piling
sure
it on
do.
this morning.
All right, guys, we do appreciate it.
Thank you,
You know,
as
be
always.
safe out there, please.
Absolutely.
All right, you know, I don't want to have to read about you in a bad way.
Oh, he wants to say
Yeah,
something.
no, thank you. If you don't mind, I'm going to abuse your microphone once again. This event on Saturday, the 28th, is the first time ever that we're doing this open house and Meet the Chiefs event. It's going to be great, family oriented. So please, if you have the time, Saturday, stop by and see us. You're going to get to see. You're going to get to see our facilities where we work, and more importantly, you're going to get to meet a lot of officers that they can talk to you about, the specific things they do. Maybe not answer your specific questions, but get to know the people, put a face to the name, and develop those relationships. Also, we're going to provide mini tours, like Sergeant Smith says. We're going to provide all those mini tours in Spanish as well. So feel free to come
I'm in
over.
trouble.
And I can give you one in Spanish to the whole crew if you guys want.
Español, je parle un peu français. Parle français?
Nothing. Zero.
Yeah.
We. That's as far as it
We
goes.
chat.
And,
That's enough.
yeah, and like I said, we're definitely looking forward. We're gonna have some popcorn for the kids, and we're gonna be giving away some other stuff. Like I say, come over, give us a shot. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna take care of you over there.
Okay.
The second thing I want to close by now, it's my time to say something for my captain at home. It's my 14th year anniversary, wedding anniversary in a couple days. So I want to tell my wife happy anniversary. And that I love her very much.
Absolutely.
Happy
Now, wasn't it
What's
her
what's the date?
birthday the last time you were here?
Yeah. What
Yes, yes. The very first time I came, there was her birthday.
Okay, so
yeah.
what's the date of that? The anniversary?
September 26th.
Okay, well, you got me beat. Mine's the 7th of October.
All right. Well, close
Oh,
enough.
We're close enough. We get together and we
Yeah.
just have a big, when's yours?
January.
Forget it.
January is a good month
It's
for
too cold.
everything.
It's too cold in January.
After
for an anniversary.
Christmas, you get fresh gift. Oh, yeah.
See, I understand.
All right. Well, good. Congratulations to her.
Maybe,
No, I appreciate it. Look
Maybe
forward
your
to seeing
husband
these
will buy you a
coffees
new
as
boat.
well. You gotta come to this coffee.
Now you
Coffee?
boat.
Yeah, the coffee with a cup. If you don't have time tomorrow, what about next Wednesday? We have another coffee with a cup that we didn't mention. That's gonna be in the standalone Starbucks right in front of the mall. It's gonna be next Wednesday from 9 to 11.
I'm trying to
That
think.
one, yes, yes,
Tomorrow,
yes.
let's see, and that's it. What time is it tomorrow?
9 to
9 to
11.
11.
We should go
Oh,
right
okay.
after the
I
show.
might have time tomorrow.
Yeah, we should
Tomorrow's
go right
Wednesday,
after
right?
the show.
Yes.
Chief
I need to
Phelps
get out
will
of the
be there
house
as well?
anyway because we're going through a demolition and reconstruction up there. Oh, and I need to be out of the house.
Understandable.
You understand? Got that?
Yes.
How
we
long
should go.
can this last? 2 or 3 days? Coffee with a cup? Can I bring a blanket?
Sure. We'll put you in the penthouse so you can take a nap.
There you go.
Okay, no hurricane. We'll do that. All right, thank you.
Sounds like a holding room to me.
It's funny when I went up there. I did not go up there without my telephone and without a radio, ham radio, so I could reach somebody just in
Just
case
in
those
case.
doors closed behind me when I
Mm.
was standing outside. I trust everybody to a point.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
point, folks, do not bring your guns, your personally owned firearms to the coffee, to National Night Out, or
Why
to greet the
would
chief.
you?
Because there are stupid people out there. that-
Why would you?
You know, even just because you got a concealed carry
Yes.
does not mean you can carry it there.
Right, right.
How's that?
Very
Leave your
good.
dogs home too.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, good advice.
Oh,
Please.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Like them, but you know what?
It's
You don't
live
know what-
fireworks at 9 p.m.
Well, they
Correct.
get excited
Yeah.
with people. My
There's gonna be a
my
lot
dog
of
would
people.
climb in every
Yes.
lap that's there.
Mhm.
So, anyway, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all take
Thank
care.
Thank you
Have a good
so
day.
much, as always.
Just great. It's lovely to have folks in here like that. And besides, when she gets home and Brad heals up, the captain heals up. Yeah, guess what? I promised that you're gonna be doing. I want trout. I want specks.
Some trouts.
So he knows where they are.
Oh, yeah.
I know he knows where they are. And I will close my eyes. I'll blindfold myself. He can just take me there and I'll catch them. No problem. Doesn't matter where they are
All
today. Is
right.
I
Where
thought
they-
I was full of it. Yeah, you go.
All right.
There you go.
We'll remind everybody.
Yeah.
I just like to eat 'em.
Officer Guzman and Sergeant
I agree.
Vanessa
stay out of the
Williams. Stay out of
It's
the water.
bad enough on the asphalt. You want me to get in the water? Nah,
You guys, hiking is more
I don't
dangerous
hike.
than diving.
The hardest
Sharks,
the scariest
swimming
thing
with
I
sharks
do-
is safer than hiking.
The
I told you
scariest
about
thing
that
I do
earlier.
is try. That's it.
Well, they can step on your foot. They can kill you. They can hurt you, right?
Horses. Oh yeah, you can get killed on horse. That's,
Uh-huh. All right, interesting conversations.
Oh, yes. They're such good people.
They
You
are.
know, I mean,
You guys, even if you've been, challenged in the past by police officers, even if you've had, you grew up and during your growing up period, like Timmy, you had to behave yourself or, get
Right.
your tail whooped by your daddy after the police brought you home. Is that about right, Timmy?
yeah, they didn't never do that. Thank
But you,
But could have.
if it had happened, you would have. Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, of course.
But anyway, get to know them. They are humans.
yes, and they're good servants of the community.
Members of the community. It's not
They-
just they're servants of the
right.
community. They're
Well,
members
they
of the
give
community, just like
a
you are.
lot. They give up a
They
lot
do.
to be out there to watch over us. And Sergeant Williams and Sergeant Smith and Officer Guzman are just fine officers
They are.
of the Jacksonville Public
Yeah.
Safety Office. And
As we like to say, the good people.
the good people, we
They're
enjoy
just- they're
having
just good
them.
people.
Yes.
And the vast majority of lawmen, lawwomen, police officers, law enforcement officers, sheriff's officers, deputies. They're all just good people.
They are. I mean,
Very
there's bad apples in every barrel. I don't care what.
No.
But
Should we
The
talk about
majority
the
of them.
Catholic Church or what? There are bad apples, as you say,
Yeah.
but don't blame everybody.
no, you don't. But see, that's the trouble.
I don't blame every truck driver for that one.
Exactly.
I go down the highway and he's just zigging in and out of traffic on I-40, or like some of those wrecks that I get to watch on TV
Yeah.
that I see
Right.
that YouTube channel. I say, I really don't ever want to be on the highway again. I'm going to stay on the water. Then I go to the boat ramp videos out there and I'm like, no, I don't want to go there either.
Well, after we do the weather, I want to remind everybody about the Meet the Candidates forums that are taking place today.
Is Mark Robinson going to be there? I'm just kidding.
No, they're not.
The Marine Forecast is brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Yes, I am like that. Locally owned and operated with in-house counselors. No need to drive to places all over North Carolina to get the help that you actually need.
Right.
We hear most every day about the amount of fentanyl coming into the United States. We hear of the damage that Americans endure, with more than 100,000 families having lost loved ones from opioid overdoses just last year. 111,000 families, daddies, mamas, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, uncles, aunts, grandparents, they lost someone due to a fentanyl overdose or an opioid overdose last year. About 80,000 of those were due to fentanyl.
Yep.
We hear of that. Until a few years back, not many of us ever heard of this drug. It wasn't that long ago. Now it's as common in discussion, just like counselors get together, they talk about it. When cops get together, interagency law enforcement gets together. That's one of the number one things they talk about.
Yep.
It's about as common today on the streets as marijuana was 20, 30, 40 years ago. The difference is you die.
Yeah.
It kills you. As little as 3 pinhead particles of fentanyl is capable of killing a human being. As parents, you need to learn as much about this as you can. The internet, it might be good for a lot of things, but the real information you need will not come online. There's too much BS there. If you have children, no chance you're going to get the right information from them because they don't have it. They don't know. As you are aware, your kids don't always tell you everything, and they don't always tell you the truth about everything. Even locally, pot laced with fentanyl has turned up. It's cheap to produce it. Dealers want to peddle their product any way they can. They don't care about collateral damage. Fentanyl pills, pressed, they look just like Tylenol or other drugs. If they want to see kids, they'll put Tylenol or something similar on it because every kid can take Tylenol wherever they are. And you will know the difference. Would you be able to tell the difference if you look at a pill and it says Tylenol on it? How
No.
many people out there are going to be able to tell the difference?
I very seldom even take a Tylenol or any pill.
The counselors at
Oh,
Community
okay.
Prevention Services can help you with that. Give them a call at 910-353-0972 for an appointment. If you or someone else is having a problem dealing with any kind of drugs, your source for help is at Community Prevention Services. The number again, 910-353-0972. Offshore today, easterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, sounds and rivers a light chop. Wednesday, southeasterly winds 5 to 10, seas 3 to 4, 2 to 3 near shore, sounds and rivers a light chop. Thursday, going to be kicking up just a little bit, southeasterly winds 10 to 15, seas 3 to 5. Increasing chop on the ocean, and sounds and rivers are going to have a moderate chop.
And today we have a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 83. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 68. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 85. And Thursday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 84.
Is it time for some good news into the show so I can do some good news?
Yeah, well,
go
let
ahead.
me get out to meet the candidates
Uh-huh,
real
let's
quick.
do that.
Now, I have put it
And then
on.
we'll do the real good news.
I have put it on our pages, and what I will do, the first one is at 9 a.m., and I will drop the live segment link on our page. People can watch it from our page if they
Okay.
want to. But anyway, today is the Meet the Candidates forums. This is for the candidates that are on the ballot for the general election 2024 in November. At 9 a.m., we have candidates for the NC House Representatives as Districts 14, 15, and 16, and Senate District 6. Senate District 6 is our Senator Mike Lazara.
Represents only Onslow County now.
That's
We took,
right.
Jones County out.
North
We got
Carolina,
too big for our britches.
North Carolina House Districts 14, 15, and 16. 14 is Carson Smith. Whether he'll be there or not, I don't know, but he does have somebody from Sneeze Ferry running against him. 15 is Philip Shepard, and 16 is Wyatt Gable.
Mhm.
Do I have that right? Yes, I think I do. Anyway, and so that's 9 to 10:30.
That's the Republican.
That's right. That's right. And then 11 to 12:30, we have candidates for the Onslow County Board of Education. And there are 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat, or four Republicans, 1 Democrat running.
There are 4 seats open.
Yes, and I think, if I remember correctly, wasn't there a Libertarian? I'd have to look up the ballot
Yeah,
to get all
I'm
the
not sure
names.
who's going to be there.
Wasn't that Feehan gentleman, Eleanor? I
Yeah.
think he was bored, but I'm not sure. Okay, and then at 1:30 to 3 p.m. is candidates for the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, which are
4 seats.
4 seats, 4 Republicans, and 1 Democrat
Mhm.
running.
Yep.
So
And some of those Republicans that are running for re-election.
that's correct. So
Yeah.
I don't anticipate there's going to be any big breaking stuff coming out of this, but it's
No,
a
Robertson's
chance.
got all that.
But it's a chance to listen to those that will be representing you.
Yes,
So do it.
yes. You know, hopefully you haven't voted yet, to be honest with you. Hopefully you are going to vote, and don't put it off too long, but
Oh.
pay attention to these candidates. First of all, I don't really care. You know, whether we're talking about the president's race, congressional races, which includes the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, or state House, state Senate, these are all important. The county commissioners, the city council races, these are people that are going to represent you. You will have more opportunity to have contact with the county commissioner in Onslow County. You'll have more opportunity to have contact with every county commissioner in Onslow County than you will ever have at even getting an up close and personal glimpse of a guy named Trump or the next president, whoever it's going to be, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump.
Well,
You will have more of an opportunity to be up close and personal and shake hands with these individuals.
I think it's very important that people understand and see and realize what's going on in your own community. And your representatives are very important
Mhm.
to how things happen
Yep.
in the community. I mean, we're talking about like new housing.
Yep.
Developments, roadways. Of course, the DOT is in charge of the roads, but I mean, the Onslow County Commissioners, they deal with so much that affects me and you, even though we're in the city, it still affects us.
The county commissioners, whatever they do, and the tax, if you don't believe it, check your taxes.
Yeah.
Because a
That's
chunk of
right.
that goes to the county, even if you live in the city. All right?
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Why is that the case, you ask? That's double taxation. Well, you know what? The sheriff's officers, civil summons, they serve warrants,
Yep.
they serve divorce notices if necessary. They serve all sorts of civil papers. And there's a thing called the jailhouse and the courthouse.
Yep.
The county operates that, not the city. Your city taxes do not go to operate the judicial system here in Onslow
Right.
County. They don't pay for the deputies to go out and serve these warrants inside the city limits. And on top of all of that, in case you didn't know it, the sheriff's office deputies, all those people have jurisdiction in the city as well. And yes, they will make an arrest. I've seen them
Right.
stop cars in the city limits. Not a problem with that. It's part of the turf. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. But
I will tell you, if you miss any of this live today, you can always go back to our page later on
And
this
watch
afternoon or tonight. Go back on whichever segment or all of them that you want to watch. Click on the link and you can rewatch.
it'll be there.
Yes, it'll be there.
Okie dokie.
All right. What good news have you got?
Luis Armando Albino.
What?
That's his name. Back in 1951, he was 6 years old. He was
Okay.
abducted while playing at an Oakland, California park.
This is
He'd
not a
been
happy
missing.
story.
He'd been missing and missing and missing forever and ever. 7 decades later, Albino has been found
Ooh.
thanks to help from an online ancestry test, old photographs, and newspaper clippings. You heard that this was in California, that he was kidnapped, right?
Mhm.
The Bay Area News Group reported last Friday that Albino's niece in Oakland, with assistance from police, the FBI, and the Justice Department, located her uncle living on the East Coast.
Isn't that crazy? Where?
Albino, a father and grandfather, is a retired firefighter and a Marine Corps veteran
Wow.
who served in Vietnam. This is according to his niece, 63-year-old Alida Alquin. She found Albino and reunited him with his California family back in June.
Wow.
On February 21st, 1951, a woman lured the 6-year-old Albino from the West Oakland Park, where he had been playing with his older brother, and promised the Puerto Rican-born boy in Spanish that she would buy him some candy.
Mm.
How often this occurs, I don't know, but that candy routine has been a ruse forever. Instead, the woman kidnapped him, flew him to the East Coast, where he ended up with a couple who raised him as if he were their own son. Officials and family members didn't say where on the East Coast he lives, but I will tell you a little bit more. For more than 70 years, Albino remained missing, but he was always in the hearts of his family, and his photo hung at relatives' houses. His mother died in 2005, never gave up hope that her son was alive. Oakland police acknowledged that Alquin's efforts, his niece, played an integral role in finding her uncle, and that the outcome of the story is what we strive for. In an interview with the news group, she said her uncle hugged her and said, "Thank you for finding me."
The only sadness
He's
in
living
that
in
whole
North
story.
Carolina, by the way.
Yeah,
They don't want to tell where.
Right.
And they're not using his.
I just really wish that his mother
Mother had
could
been
have
alive.
seen him before, had been alive when
Yeah.
he was found. But what a touching story. Could be your neighbor. You never know.
You never know.
I wonder, did he ever grow up realizing that he had been kidnapped?
I don't.
As he got
know.
older?
At 6 years of age, I'm sure that the uprooting. I
Right,
remember things
right.
at 4. I remember moving to Jacksonville when I was 3. I remember the trip to Jacksonville with a load of furniture.
I can
On the back
remember
of a pickup
little
truck.
bits and pieces, but not much.
I remember
Yeah.
trying to tell my dad. I was looking out the back of the pickup truck. I said, "Don't, stop. Why? That fell off." I said, "Never mind." It was a footstool. I remember that as good as it was yesterday. I was 3 years
I
old.
remember being in a walker a little bit.
A walker.
A walker.
They didn't give me a walker. They just said, "Get up, boy, get
No,
up."
I couldn't walk at the time.
But
I
yeah,
can remember learning to tie my shoes
I
in
remember my
kindergarten.
sister worked at Rose's.
Hmm.
Because you come home with a bag of popcorn every night from me.
That's good.
I do remember
I
that.
like popcorn.
That's great.
The top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee pushing back against the Supreme Court's recent presidential immunity ruling, suggesting Democrats are eyeing ways to limit former President Trump's abilities that were expanded by the High Court's decision. It's up to Congress, the representative branch of the people, to defend the constitutional order against presidents who would trample the freedoms of the people. That's what Republican Jamie Raskin, he's a Democrat out of Maryland,
Oh, yes.
that's what he said in a press conference, alongside former GOP Representative Joe Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
This declaration is about protecting the freedoms of the people by closing statutory loopholes that could allow a president to exploit the executive power to trample constitutional freedom and liberty. What are they so afraid of? They're afraid about the remarks that the former president, has made about what he's going to do on day one if he becomes the president again. Things like, "I'm going to be a dictator." Well, if you listen to the whole thing,
If you listen to the
you'll
whole
understand.
thing, you'll understand.
You
what
you
that's
pick out
about.
one word, dictator.
I mean,
I'm a dictator.
That's
at
all they
times.
got.
I'm a dictator. What my rule is, we're going to do it certain ways.
True.
That's dictatorial.
Yeah.
As a news director, I was dictatorial. at times
Mhm.
when I had to be. Somebody's going to
Yeah.
make the final call. Every umpire out there on the ball field every referee
That's true.
is a dictator.
Right.
You don't believe it? Watch those little yellow things come out of their butts
Yep.
every time somebody does something wrong. You did it wrong, and it's my word against everybody else out here. You're wrong. You're a dictator.
I dictate
Right.
that truck
That's-
and DOT dictates me on how I do it.
Dictatorship works all the way up to the chain of command, right? And we, the people, are the final say. I don't even want to know what that is.
Tim.
Okay.
All
we,
right.
We will.
Is that what they said?
Also,
Well,
Ken.
let's don't just.
Wait, don't go away. Let's hear
Yeah.
this.
Let's see what this says. Good morning. Can I help you?
Hey, Rayford, it's Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Oh,
Can you
oh.
hold on for just a second, Jason? We're going to leave here just a second. No, Bob.
We're
Don't-
going
don't
off
hang
there.
up.
Hold on.
Don't hang up.
No problem.
All right. You're live and local Real Talk, and don't go away. We will be back tomorrow. And Jason from the Onslow County Board of Elections, he's got some information that we will provide you tomorrow.
Yes.
Because I called and sent him a list of stuff that I need to know.
Oh my goodness. He's
Have
so
a
good.
great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the morning.